What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Cam ATL. Shout out to the DFS squad. Shout out to everybody watching this video right now. Drop a like down below because I already know you're gonna love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you comment anything down in the comment section to enter your name into the $50 giveaway that I do every single week on this channel. I announced that $50 giveaway on the NBA video yesterday morning. So go check out the NBA video from yesterday to know if you were chosen. I just combined them all and announced it on the first video of the week. All right. Thank you guys for joining me as always. I hope you had an amazing week 8. Week 8 was not great for me because I grabbed Ty Johnson, who was value. I grabbed Chase Edmonds with no David Johnson, who ended up getting hurt and really not doing anything anyway after going crazy the week before. That's back-to-back weeks where injury or horrible or value being horrible. And I mean, it just is what it is as DFS. So we just got to get right back to it, man. Week 9, let's get this money. As always, this is the first look video. This is where we go through a lineup. I set a lineup. We go through it and talk about why I like this lineup. This is the first look lineup. So this is complete gut and a little bit of research compared to come next weekend. It's going to be a whole lot more research and a whole lot more put together. But the crazy part is these first looks have only lost a few times all year. Okay, so they have been absolutely killing. They weren't as good as the week 5 75,000 takedown, though, that Greenlight DFS put up. But they've still been good. They've still been cashing fairly well. So let's get straight into it. I'm not going to keep up too much of your time. I'm not going to make a long-ass video. We're going to go through why I like these guys in this lineup. As you can see, I saved us a little time and went ahead and just have them in here. And we're going to go through and talk about why. At quarterback, I almost said point guard because NBA is back. At quarterback, Matthew Stafford. He is not home in the dome, and normally I like guys at home in a dome, but he does get the benefit of going up against the league's worst against the quarterbacks, okay? They give a ton up through the air, okay? And at the same time, Oakland being at home should be able to score and keep this game competitive, making Stafford throw his usual 45 plus times. And when Stafford's throwing that many times, with Galladay, Marvin Jones, Amendola stepping up in a big way on this offense, and them not having Kerryon Johnson, it's making them throw a lot more. So expect Matthew Stafford once again to have another very solid week. I can see probably about a 30 here against Oakland. Oakland has been getting smashed through the air, and I really, really love Matthew Stafford, and I love a few of his receivers going against them too, but we'll get to that in a second. Le'Veon Bell going against this horrible Miami defense. On top of that, I expect the Jets to get up here and Le'Veon just to get a ton of carries in this one. He already is like top 5 in the league with usage in his offense. There's really nobody else on this team that can do much. On top of that, Darnold has a finger injury. I'm not sure if it's his thumb. I think it's his thumb. He's got a sprained thumb. I would expect him to lean heavily on the run in this game. Let that thumb kind of heal up a little bit more. It's probably not going to be completely healed. They said it was going to be something that probably bothers Darnold all season. So expect him to rely on the run a lot in this game. And Le'Veon Bell, I mean, they do it anyway, but Le'Veon Bell against a horrible Miami defense when the Jets are probably going to be up even in Miami, and even if they don't get up, they'll use Le'Veon in the pass. It doesn't matter. He's used so much, and at 7-7, I just love the position for Le'Veon Bell. They have to be thinking the same thing as me. Look, we're just going to run the ball a million times against them and break them down in this game, and that's exactly what's going to happen if they run with Le'Veon. Next up, Phillip Lindsay. Joe Flacco left with injury. Now we have some unknown guy going to be quarterback for Denver. What does that mean? That means they are going to run the ball a lot, okay? Phillip Lindsay and Royce Freeman are solid options. I'm leaning Lindsay, but he's 5'3". They're at home in Denver going against Cleveland, who is not good against the run, okay? They struggle against the run, and no matter how this game ends up, if Cleveland gets up or Cleveland keeps the game close and Denver's able to just hand it off, it doesn't matter. Lindsay gets involved in the pass game, and that's the thing. With Joe Flacco being out, and this new guy coming in, he's going to rely a lot handing the ball off and a lot of little dump-offs to Phillip Lindsay, okay? Lindsay is the better pass catcher of the two running backs, so Phillip Lindsay at 5'3" seems like a very good deal for a guy who's going to be have a huge workload in this offense, especially with Flacco out of the lineup. Next up, Marvin Jones and Danny Amendola are the two receivers I like pairing up with Stafford. Now, I know this is more of like a GPP route because we're trying to go for upside, hoping that this Detroit team scores a ton of points, okay? But both of these guys going against the league's worst secondary in the league is an amazing option. Danny Amendola has been getting peppered with targets in this offense. Okay? Marvin Jones has been consistent and solid all season. Okay, Kenny Golladay just had a huge game. Expect Marvin Jones Jr. and Danny Amendola and Marvin Jones to all have solid games. Matthew Stafford's going to spread it around. I love Danny Amendola just solely off the target share he gets. I can see Marvin Jones getting in the end zone. And these guys are cheaper than Golladay. So these are the two guys that I like putting up with Stafford, and for me to be able to still add some guys to the lineup and make it fairly balanced. All right, next up, Devante Parker from Miami. Because we love Le'Veon Bell, obviously Miami's going to have to throw the ball to keep up with this, okay? And Fitzpatrick to Devante Parker has been a popular thing, okay? As long as Fitzpatrick's in there, he targets Devante Parker a ton. He got 10 targets last game. He gets targeted a bunch in that at 4-4 going against a really bad Jets secondary. Now, you can't really run well against the Jets, which is Miami doesn't really care about because they just got rid of Kenyon Drake. They're not trying to run it a whole lot. They don't have guys who are really good at running the ball. So it doesn't matter how good the Jets are, who are decent against the run. But they suck versus the pass. So Fitzpatrick and Devante Parker should be able to do some things in this one. And at 4-4, I just love the value for a guy who's probably going to get about 8 targets in this game and probably get in the end zone as well against the Jets. Next up, Zach Ertz at 4-7. This dude is $1,400 less than Darren Waller. I did not think I would see that this year. If you asked me before the year if I thought Darren Waller would be ever $1,400 more than Zach Ertz, I would think you were smoking crack. But the way this season has gone, Waller is a huge usage player in that offense, and Zach Ertz just hasn't been the guy. Okay? He just hasn't been the guy. So at 4-7, I'm taking the chance on him being back to his old self. We know the connection that Wentz and Zach Ertz have with each other. They're at home in Philly, going against Chicago, who is a very, very good defense. Their only weak point is against tight end. And they're not super weak, but they have some holes in that defense against tight end. And I think Zach Ertz can take advantage of that. I think this Philly offense knows that. Let's target Chicago using Zach Ertz in this game, get him back involved, and get him going. So at 4-7, you have to expect that this guy will be able to, pay off value. He has a good amount of upside. He does have a very low floor this year, sadly. But he does have some good upside. And at 4-7, it just feels a little crazy that he's that cheap. So I want to take advantage of Zach Ertz, at least in the first look lineup. I like Zach Ertz at that price. Next up, Josh Jacobs for Oakland. We have all this Detroit. I wanted to get an Oakland guy in here, and Josh Jacobs is a guy that gets involved in this game on this team on the ground and through the air. And at 6'5", he's going to have heavy involvement in this offense. They don't have a ton of guys outside of him and Darren Waller, so they have to rely on these guys. And they have a solid matchup against Detroit, who struggles against the run. Okay, so I really like Josh Jacobs at home at 6'5". Last but not least, the defense. I'm just going with the Buffalo Bills. At 3-8, going against the horrible Washington offense. This Washington offense has struggled a ton this season. Buffalo's at home. Their defense should be able to cause some turnovers, maybe even get a defensive touchdown. So I like the Bills D at 3-8. And that's about it, y'all. All right, we got Matthew Stafford, Le'Veon Bell, Phillip Lindsay, Marvin Jones, Danny Amendola, Devante Parker, Zach Ertz, Josh Jacobs, and the Bills D. All right, I keep getting a call. My bad. I have to go answer that. Thank you guys for joining me as always. I will talk to y'all later. Good luck. Greenlightdfs.com to join